Let's have a conversation about money. Good old-fashioned moolah. Not just how do you make it, but how do you make yourself broke-proof? Yep, I just made that up, broke-proof. How do you make it impossible for yourself to go broke? It's not as hard as you may think. It's not a secret. We're going to talk about it.
The Creator Podcast.
My name is Dion Williams, aka Dion Does, and I truly believe that we were all created in the image of the ultimate creator, and therefore it's in us all to create. And this show aims to help you and I both level up in this four-dimensional game of life so that we can go out and create for good, whether that's for ourselves, our family, the community around us, but all of this a part of a generational vision of a family of creators coming together to be the difference. I'm gonna let the beat ride a little bit. I'm so glad that you're back. Rocking with your boy Dion here, Creator Podcast. Let's get right into it. I want to start with a quote from T. Harv Eker, who has a really good book, by the way, called, I'm not going to remember it right off the top of my head. I believe it's Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I read a lot of things and they blend together, but I haven't read that in a while. But that was a powerful book. It helped me out a lot. T. Harv Eker says, "You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you create in the marketplace." That's our very simple principle for today. I'm going to run it back for you. You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you create in the marketplace. I'm gonna break it down for you. What does that mean exactly? If you're sitting here right now and you're like, man, I really wish I could make more money, I'm gonna give you a simple analogy. Let's think of, I actually used this for my web class back in the day, so let's do this. LeBron James, basketball player. Even if you don't really follow basketball, you probably know that, okay? At one point, he was on the same team as Kendrick Perkins. Okay, another professional basketball player. But although they are both really good at basketball because they're in the NBA, right? You don't just get in the NBA on accident. LeBron James is way better. You know, they're both at the top 1% of the world in basketball players. But LeBron James is in the top. He's literally arguably the top one of all NBA players to ever play. But, of course, he's in the top 1% of the 1%. And so, he gets paid like it. Why, though? Because he's more valuable. He's harder to replace, right? So, if you are the general manager of the team, and you're like, man, for whatever reason, I need to replace Kendrick Perkins. That's not as hard to do as if you were trying to replace LeBron James, right? Because LeBron brings far more value to the team because he's better. And it's the same way for the marketplace. So maybe you're in a position where you're not making as much money as you would like to make. The worst thing you could do is blame someone else, is blame Trump, blame the government, blame your mama. And I'm going to tell you why. Although you may have valid reasons, right, to blame someone, staying in that area is going to keep you broke, okay? Because you're going to keep your focus on the wrong area. The problem is that you're not bringing enough value, and that's why you're not making the money, okay? And so you want to start thinking, how can I put myself in a position where I am harder to replace? Can I become the LeBron James of my market? And even in these crazy, uncertain times, right? There's a lot of whispers going on of us going into a huge recession, or even something bigger than the Great Depression. Like there could be a huge economic downturn, right in the mid. Like we could be on the verge of something huge. But I promise you, there will be people making money. And even with what we've seen now, although many people are losing their jobs, there have been people that have been making more money since this pandemic has started. Who is that? The people that are providing the most value in these circumstances. One simple example is the gun shops, right? As soon as the news started to get crazy, I was like, hold up. It wasn't rocket science. I was like, hold up. I'm seeing we're on lockdown. I'm seeing people are losing their jobs. That could lead to people having to go without having certain things. And if they don't have the money to go to the store to get it, they're going to try and get it from somewhere, right? I was like, and they ain't going to get it from here, so let me go. Let me just make sure we good. So I went to the gun store, and it was crazy. There was like, first off, there was no ammo. Like, we were going to we were calling and going to all the gun stores around town. There was no ammo. It was gone. And then a lot of the places didn't even have guns left. Everyone was just buying them up. Why? Because in this situation, that was valuable to them. For the people that wanted to protect their homes, protect their family, protect their possessions, whatever it may be, that was providing value. Who else is making a lot of money right now? All the disinfectant companies, the Lysol, any company doing the masks, right? Why? Because that's valuable. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you got to go start a hand sanitizing business. No. You need to be looking for where can you provide value. For example, as everyone has, not everyone, but a lot of people have lost their jobs or they're having to stay home and they're not able to make money. They're looking at ways to make money from home. I just so happen to know how to make money from home. And so more people have been going and purchasing my courses. Why? Because that's valuable to them. It should have been valuable before the dang pandemic, but it's cool. It's cool. You was a little late to the party. And now people see the value in that. And so they are investing their money to learn. And because in that course, what do we teach you? How to increase your value. Okay. And so it's very, very simple. I don't need to talk your ear off this episode. I just need you to understand the principle that was given to us by T. Harv Eker. I love how he used the word create in it too. You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you create in the marketplace. So it's very, very simple for those that want to make more money or understand how to make themselves broke proof. You need to hop in the lab and you need to consider, how can I create more value? So that's the principle, but we're not going to stop there. We got to put some feet to it. Now, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's probably some low-hanging fruit. Maybe you have a talent or a gift or an expertise or just an area that you're very passionate in that people would find valuable. Now, you have to be careful. Things that were valuable a month ago may have shifted a little bit, right? Things have changed. They've evolved. Maybe you had a restaurant, or let's say you had a movie theater. That's valuable, right? Me and my wife love to go to movies. It's a way of stepping away, right? We get to escape from the kids and we get to just enjoy ourselves. That's huge. That's very valuable. Right now, though, not so much. Not so much. Create now content on YouTube has been extremely valuable in this time, right? People are home. People are bored. Me and my wife were talking. It was like, it's crazy. A lot of these television companies, like it's hard. They can't just go out and, like, one of our favorite shows to watch on MTV is The Challenge. And that's dope. I'm sure they've already filmed that entire season, the one that just dropped. But, you know, like, if they were to go out and film one right now, they can't. But you know who can? YouTubers, content creators, depending on how you do your content. Obviously, there's some people that have been affected in ways. But people are home more. They're looking for stuff to watch. And I'm sure a lot of companies are going to start doing, like, good reruns, you know, of, like, old stuff, which will probably work. I know the NBA is doing stuff like that. The UFC is doing stuff like that on YouTube. But for the people that want the new stuff, content creation is a huge value for people in this time. People are home and they're bored. And they don't really have the money to just be buying a lot of stuff, so they can watch stuff at home for free. Now, and that's just one of many though, okay? We live in a world where we're blessed that it's really easy to monetize the passions that you have. I remember one of my first mentors online that taught me how to like market and sell and just make money online. He had a 6-figure business around model airplanes and model cars. Like he would collect them and show people how to put them together and review them, and it was a 6-figure a year business. And then he had another thing. He was making another 6 figures on the side doing something like Muay Thai stuff. The ninja didn't even know Muay Thai. He just knew how to partner with people that did, and he knew how to market really well. And so we're in a very, very, we're blessed to live in the time that we do, because if you are creative, there's not too many passions that you can't monetize. Now, if you tell me, hey, I like to do underwater butt naked yodeling juggle classes, I don't know if there's a market for that. That might be the one thing. But man, there's people, if you're passionate about something, there's a really, really good chance that there's other people that are passionate about it and they have a community around it. And you can be a voice for that community. You can help give tips for that community. You can educate the community. You can provide that community with tools and resources, right? All these different things. These are ways that I want you to start brainstorming, okay? So it's very, very simple. Let's pull out our handy dandy creator frame. And let's look across the 4 dimensions of life: faith, relationships, energy, and economics. Okay. Find one that you're truly passionate about. And you really can go into any of them. I think faith, you want to be a little bit careful. For example, I'm a Christian. I would never monetize salvation or Jesus Christ, right? That's not what we're doing. That's goofy. But do you know how many books I've bought on spirituality and different things to learn, right? So that's possible. But, when you get into your relationships, right? I've bought books, courses on relationship advice. Me and my wife have gone to seminars and counseling and all that stuff to improve our relationship. You look across your energy. Oh, my Lord. Those are companies that are doing really well right now. Something that I bought more of recently, this company called Organifi. They sell a lot of stuff for like immune support, right? To help you stay healthier. They have great green drinks. Okay. But then there's also personal development. I'm sorry, not personal development, personal training. There's online personal training, online coaches. Okay. And then you look at economics. Of course, that can be teaching people how to make money, how to manage money, all of that. And I want you to find an area that you're truly passionate about. And then I want you to dive in and commit. Okay? And today, all we got to worry about is what the first step will be on you increasing your value. Because remember the principle of today. Let's start our descent. You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you create in the marketplace. And so if you want to make a lot of money, you need to provide a lot of value, right? What am I doing with this podcast? Providing a lot of value. Now, it won't happen overnight, right? It's crazy. I was looking up some of the old YouTube videos. I was doing something called the Level Up series 7 years ago, where I was playing Madden video. I was doing Madden content. So I was still playing video games, but I was doing like personal development stuff. I was talking about, just deeper things over the gameplay. Because this is something I've been passionate about. So this daily podcast is way longer than 7 years, but still, like, this is years and years in the making. So please, and we'll talk about that in another episode, about there being levels to things. You got to take the steps in order. But it took years for me to be able to provide value like this on this kind of level. And so what should you do? Get started now. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you it's going to be overnight. And LeBron James didn't get to where he was overnight. There was a lot of sacrifice. There was a lot of blood, sweat, tears. But it will be worth it when you can become the person that is so valuable that you are recession proof. Okay? And anytime the market may shift for you, and I've been in markets where things shift or things collapse or things change, big time, you need to be able to shift. How can you provide value? Let's look at Blockbuster. Some of you guys might be so young, you don't even remember Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a place where you could go and rent DVDs and video games and VHS, like you could rent movies. The market shifted on them. Redbox hit the scene. And then eventually Netflix. Blockbuster didn't shift. They had the market position, so it would have been an easy pivot. They didn't want to, though. They didn't want to. So as long as you're shifting to where the value is, you can't go broke. You're broke proof, baby. All right? So I want you guys to meditate on that. Again, take out the creator frame, faith, relationships, energy, economics. Find that area that you know you're just passionate about. Look for the low-hanging fruit. And maybe there isn't any, and you got to meditate on it. You got to think about it. But then I want you to take note on that's your homework for today. What is the one step? Maybe it's getting your first book on business. Please don't be the guy. That's one thing too. In 2020, man, we got a lot of people that want to just learn they read one book. Now they're trying to be a guru. Like, sit down and shut the fluff up. You ain't no guru, right? You learned one thing. So that's not what I'm telling you either, but let's compound that. Let's learn one thing, then two things, then three things. And then next thing you know, here's what is true though. It's never been easier to be a guru. Man, you could lock yourself in. And some of y'all already locked down, right? You can just lock yourself in a room. And in 30 days, if you commit to one topic with all of the wealth of free information, let's just go back 10, 15 years. Look at how much harder it would have been for me to deliver this podcast to you on a daily basis. Like, the technology has gone crazy. So there's so much information out there. YouTube has so much great stuff. The only problem with YouTube is that there's almost too much information, that it can be overwhelming and hard to sift through and hard to know who's really legit and who really knows what they're talking about, especially if you're brand new. But man, there's almost any topic. So much you can learn, okay? And so just commit to increasing your value, and that's how you make more money. Not trying to, like, when you just get really valuable, selling, marketing, all these other things get really, really easy. Like for LeBron, right? He done switched teams a few times. Do you think it was hard for him? Did he have to plead his case? Like, please, let me be on your team, please. I'm gonna try real hard. It was like, no, they was begging. Folks was begging for LeBron to be on his team. And it can be the same for you. You don't have to chase customers down. You don't have to beg. Please buy my stuff. You will have people begging you to buy your stuff when you increase your value. One more time, the principle for today: you will be paid in direct proportion to the value you create in the marketplace. You want to know more about creating? Head to freecreatorcode.com. That'll break down what we call the creator code. That is the code that we live by. And if you're struggling with that idea of creating in your life, that struggling to adopt that identity of a creator, that is the place to be. I promise you. I promise you, the testimonials are already flooding in, man. It's changing people's lives, and it's 100% free. Freecreatorcode.com. I love you guys. Work on creating value, increasing your value, and I will see you guys tomorrow. God first. God bless.